written had been published. I sat there in a nightgown, reading a glowing review. I could feel that I was getting my period, but it didn't matter. A dream of my life was coming true. I wanted to sit there in it. I didn't want to move. Now that stain is there, and I've tried to lift it, but it won't come out. And I don't mind that it's there. It's a marker of a moment of bliss, and of an earlier self, too. One whose body still did that. For so many years, I tried to manage my period, make it invisible, get rid of evidence. Now this strange, possibly even repulsive, kind of preservation. But it's a stain that makes me remember the feeling of the world opening up before me. July came, and then it was August again, and it was official. 1 full year. Is it too Pollyanna to say that I actually did feel the world opening up? There had been something trying about wanting to stay where I was. Once I crossed the threshold, there was no more resistance, and I was moving forward again. When I went for my physical, my doctor said, "What was the date of your last menstrual period?" "August 2023, I said. "Menopause," she said, with an exclamation point, like Menopause, the musical. Like a curtain rising on a new stage.
Susan Burton is an editor on our show. At 4, since you've been gone. So our show today is about people at a pivot point, and one entire community in that situation is Altadena, California. It's one of the towns around LA that's so devastated that for most of the last week and a half, nobody was allowed in. It's been surrounded by National Guard, barricades. One of our producers, Nikki Neek, talked to somebody who stayed at her house. The fire stopped about a block away. And in the first days of the fires, came up with a mission for herself.
Vanessa Prada is a nursing student, 25 years old, lives with her parents in the home she grew up in. In those first few days after the fires, she realized people who'd evacuated didn't have a way to figure out if their homes were still standing or not.
And I remember I was just sitting and thinking, like, well, one thing we've been doing is driving around, so maybe, like, something I can do to help is drive around and take pictures of these homes.
So she went onto a community Facebook page for Altadena and posted this message.
So I said, "Hello, everyone. Our home and family is all okay and safe. That being said, we are behind the barricade. We are more than happy to drive around and take a picture for any person who would like to see their home, or God forbid, what is left of their home. Please let me know the address."
And then how fast did you start getting responses?
So I started getting responses pretty quickly, probably like 5-10 minutes after I posted it. And then when they share the address, they write something and they say, "Oh, I brought my children home to that house." I've had people say I was born in that house. Actually, I had somebody say my grandma was born in the house. I was married in that house.
54 people messaged her their addresses. She wrote them down into a notebook, and then she and her dad got into their old Toyota minivan and started driving.
Hey, Papa, that Prius smells good.
Vanessa in the passenger seat and her father driving.
Okay, that one is on the left side, just a few.
That's their dog Shelby, panting on her father's lap.
Look, it's here somewhere. Where? On the right
I think
side?
they mentioned
No,
it was
it's this one.
They got to 10 houses on their first day, but it took them almost 4 hours. Altadena is a small place. The whole thing's only about 9 square miles, but the streets were blocked with downed power lines and fallen trees. When they did get to an address, Vanessa would snap a photo and text it right away.
The goal is to get the photos as quick as possible without delay to these people about their homes, because you can imagine the agony of somebody sitting in a shelter and not know.
So how many people have you responded to so far?
We've done about 41, and I think we have another 7 or 8 today.
And then of those 41 that you've been able to check on, like how many are still standing?
Less than half.
Less than half. Okay.
Yeah, less than half.
What is that? Can you just explain the process to me?
It's difficult. So when the house is there, I send the picture and I don't say anything because there is no words needed. Usually I get a thank you. When the house isn't there, that's when it becomes a little bit more challenging. Some people will send me, hey, can you send me the status of my home? I know it's probably gone, but it would be great to know what the situation looks like. And then there's the ones that are like, I have no idea if you could send me a picture, and those are the hard ones because you know you're the one who's going to break the news. And so I just, I send a picture and I say, I'm so sorry for your loss. Is usually all I say, and they usually respond with something. And then I'll follow up with, I wish I could do more to help. Like, I wish there was something else I could do to help, you know? You can't, there's not much you can say if somebody's lost their home. And then I've also had, like, the occasional, like, after I send the burnt house, they'll send me photos of the house prior. I remember one of the houses that they sent that burned, oh my God, it was, you know, really burnt, and they sent me a picture. The house was beautiful. I mean, it really was. That one was hard.
Yeah. How did you respond back?
What a beautiful home. I'm so sorry. I mean, it really was. It had a beautiful garden. Like, I'm looking at the picture now. It's like it's a dark brown roof. The house is like off-white, and the yard has like bushes, and the bushes have like small pink flowers. They had like a bench on the outside of their house, and it's like a red bench, which really goes with the house, honestly, because it really complemented the color of the house. It made it stick out, you know?
A few days after the fire started, when it was still only 3% contained, she and her father were trying to get to an address at the end of a cul-de-sac. That one house took them a couple days to get to. They kept trying different roads in.
Every way had a tree, a huge tree that fell in the middle of the road blocking it. And I said, this is going to be the one that I'm not going to be able to send a picture for. And I was just, you know, and then I saw the person, she had a family, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm like telling my dad, like, we need to see what we can do. Like, we need to try, you know.
On their fourth attempt, they finally got closer to the address, but encountered another tree blocking the road. So Vanessa got out of the car and started walking. She sent me the video.
Okay.
Around her were charred trees and electrical poles dangling from power lines. The bottoms burned completely off.
I'm like walking under the poles and like going in between wires. Like, I couldn't figure out which house it was. I mean, it was that area was like demolished. Like, it looks like somebody dropped a bomb in that area, and like there's nothing. There's not even like when you know when you go to a house and you see like those house numbers on the curb. It was so bad that those house numbers were like non-existent.
The rubble was still smoldering, and all she could see were remnants of stone walls and chimney columns, a burned-out station wagon.
But it was just like, I'm gonna make a general video and just like hopefully I hit the house. And I sent that one, and I told the person, like, please let me know if I am getting your house, because I'm here now and I can get another picture or get another video if needed. And they said, no, that's perfect, like, you got it.
One of the last messages I got from Vanessa was a rare, bright moment in this terrible time.
Oh my God, she's going to so take a picture here and walk there and take the other one.
She and her dad found a house, still standing.
Wonderful, right?
Yeah.
But go to that gate.
Miki Meek is a producer on our show.
I wish I could say it would all be alright. It'll all be alright. I wish I could tell you it would all be fine. It'll all be just fine. But I stumbled on the road downhill to these things. They'll be what they will.
Well, our program is produced today by Emmanuel Jochi. This American Life is delivered to public radio stations by PRX, the Public Radio Exchange. Thanks as always to our program's co-founder, Mr. Story Malatia. He's been taking a figure drawing class. His drawings are pretty good, except for the hand. He does the shoulder, upper arm, forearm, all great, and then gets to the end of the arm, and it's always
we can't quite put a finger on it.
I'm Ira Glass. Back next week with more stories of This American Life.
At Radio National, questions are at the heart of what we do.
Each promises discovery, and we hope a bridge to fresh understanding.
Join us as we connect with the world,
To better understand the everyday,
The familiar and the obscure.
from science to storytelling, from art to the cosmos, from the headlines to the pace of modern life.
This is ABC Radio National.
stay informed, stay curious. ABC Radio National.
Sally Sara is one of Australia's most distinguished, award-winning foreign correspondents, having reported from some of the world's major conflict zones. She's sent stories home from no less than 30 countries, like Iraq, Sierra Leone and Afghanistan. Now she's your new host on Radio National Breakfast.
I'm Sally Sara and I'm thrilled to be with you each weekday morning on ABC Radio National.
Sally Sara, Radio National Breakfast. Weekday mornings from 5:30 or anytime on the ABC Listen app.
ABC News with Andrew Kalupas. New South Wales Police have intensified patrols across Sydney following a surge in anti-Semitic arson and graffiti attacks. Operation Shoulder, launched after the October 7th terror attacks in Israel in 2023, has now been expanded. Measures include high visibility policing at drop-off and pick-up times outside schools and enhanced security arrangements for key Jewish community sites. Police Commissioner Karen Webb says the increased presence is aimed at reassuring the community and preventing further offences.
Really, it's about community reassurance. It's also intelligence-led. So we talk to members of the community, and if they pass on some information or they've got concerns about particular areas, then we can respond to that. It's really about engagement and reassurance with the community at the moment.
The Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade is refusing to speculate on the possibility of a prisoner swap with Russia to secure the release of Australian Oscar Jenkins, captured while fighting for Ukraine. This week, the ABC revealed a Moscow-based organisation had written to Foreign Affairs Minister Penny Wong, suggesting the Melbourne man could be freed in exchange for several Russian citizens facing criminal charges in Australia. A DFAT spokesperson says the government will continue to work with Ukraine and the International Committee of the Red Cross to verify Mr. Jenkins' welfare and to advocate with Russian authorities for his release. Family and domestic violence advocates have welcomed the findings of an internal review of a double murder-suicide in Perth's western suburbs last year. Herlin Kaur with more.
Mark Bombara killed his wife's best friend and her teenage daughter in May last year before taking his own life. His daughter Ariel says weeks before, she and her mother repeatedly tried to warn police her father was dangerous. The WA Police Commissioner Cole Blanche outlined the internal review, which found 8 officers did not perform their duty. The Centre for Women's Safety and Wellbeing's Alison Evans says she's glad to see progress is already being made.
This spotlight really on some of the weaknesses in police responses has really only been possible because of the fierce determination and advocacy of Ariel Bombara.
WA Police has committed to implementing all 18 recommendations.
Plans to review